Hi there guys, welcome back. So Ireland 14, New Zealand 46. Wow, what a massive win for New Zealand. Ireland's World Cup campaign is over. No semi-final again for them. And the disappointing thing for Ireland were they didn't even fire a shot until it was too late. New Zealand were amazing, but Ireland just didn't give themselves a chance. They weren't in the game at all at any point. So let's have a look at this game, see where it went so right for New Zealand and so wrong for Ireland. So at the beginning, I was buzzing. The haka was amazing with the Irish fans singing. Unreal atmosphere. It felt like it was going to be an absolute cracker. And at the beginning, you know, Ireland were in the fight for a little bit for sure. They had a nice little trick play to start with a cross-field kick. New Zealand looked super pumped and physical in defence. Wow, their defence was great all game. You know, you talk about their attack, of course, but their defence I thought was epic. And New Zealand win a penalty 3-0 up, and that was the beginning of the end almost. We weren't to know it just then. You know, good Irish build-up. Lama was on early because of a head clash, and he actually did well, Lama, when he came back on again. He sorts out a kick through. Irish clear with the penalty. The game seemed nicely poised. Both sides looking really good actually. I thought, wow, both sides looking decent. This is going to be a cracking game. The New Zealand tackles were fierce. They were absolutely ferocious. They started forcing errors. Severe packing down at 8 as he does at the scrum, and he was looking fantastic, and he did all game. And everything about New Zealand from about 10 minutes onwards was looking crisp and sharp, and it was looking ominous. Ireland were holding, but you know, you could see the signs. And then we had a top try on about 13 minutes, which epitomised how New Zealand played. I call it total rugby, I really do. The mix between fast ball and then recognising slow ball, going to the pick and go when they needed to, handling when they needed to, kicking when they needed to, moving it wide when they needed to, all without errors, all very quickly, orchestrated by Smith especially. It was perfect, it was too good, and it ends up with a gap opening, Smith buzzing through. It was just a brilliant, brilliant try. 10-0 and you're going, ouch, this could be problems, and it was. Then we had a good attack from Ireland, a really good attack from Ireland actually. They needed to punch straight back, this was their chance. They went for a kick to the corner and went too long, and they did this again and again the whole match, missing kicks to touch, making mistakes at an important point when they could have got some momentum. They really shooting themselves in the foot all the time. That's what was disappointing. And I made in the notes here, they just can't waste these opportunities, and so it's, you know, absolutely proved to be. That was quite deflating. And then off go New Zealand again, a fantastic attack down the left edge. Smith scores again, lovely try, 17-0, and I thought this game was over. I really did. I know it was a silly thing possibly to write at about 20 minutes, but it proved to be absolutely correct. It just felt so over. Ireland then gave away some silly penalties. It wasn't until about 23 minutes where Ireland, I saw, oh, maybe there's a little shift in momentum. Peter Amani, great line out, the steal possibly, then a turnover as well, and penalty, I think, brilliant, this is it. But New Zealand was starting to read Ireland's defence as well, especially that runaround, which ironically has been like the hallmark of Ireland's strength over the years. They were reading it, Ireland were making mistakes on it. And then 31 minutes, Beauden Barrett scores a great finish, forced Irish offload, and the game is even more over. I think it's 22-0 at that point. Just destruction, just no chance. You've got to feel so deflated as an Irish player, knowing you're up against it. You know, you're the massive underdog, and then you're 22-0 down without even having fired a shot before half time. Like I said, yeah, the run around are killing them. The intensity of the New Zealanders, they were just on fire in that first half especially. Yeah, the line out, Ireland's line out, gave them some good possession. And I thought, right, they've got to score here, but they read the run around again, New Zealand, which mucked it all up. They get a nice 5-metre maul, but the New Zealand defence is ferocious. Penalty to Ireland. It's looking good, like maybe they can get a score before half time. but then it's reversed for a Peter Omani kind of shoulder charge in a ruck. And I understand why it was given, but when someone's lying on a ruck, how else do you clear them? What do? Politely ask them to get up so you can get underneath them? So I don't know on that one. Let me know what you think. Anyway, half time, 22-0, and it's just shell shock. Irish fans, Irish players, I think they know it's pretty much all over. But anyway, could it get any worse? New Zealand playing total rugby, every single tactic you need in rugby they were displaying at the right time with the right skills. One of the best halves of World Cup rugby you will ever see. Yeah, I think that much. Okay, into the second half. Can it get better for Ireland? No, not at all. Irish make a terrible error straight away. I think Stockdale steps into touch with the ball. At this point it looks like Ireland are desperate to give this game away and not take it to them. New Zealand's attack is excellent, exactly the same, huge try line pressure, then a lovely little break and then offload off the floor from Reid, Taylor under the post, just nice, 29-0, just fantastic rugby. And every nice Irish build-up is snuffed out, it's just going all wrong. New Zealand are getting some clever kicks in. Ireland aren't giving up. They're not giving up. I'm not saying their intensity was poor. It wasn't. The whole game I was quite happy with their intensity. They're just losing in every single department. You know, they're getting opportunities, not making touch again in that second half, dropping the ball, just not getting themselves into the game at all. Then we had a huge New Zealand maul. Really lovely crossfield kick which ends up in a try for Todd, and it's 34-0 in the World Cup semi. Ruthless accuracy. Anyway, another penalty missed to touch for Ireland. Awful execution, clever skill from New Zealand to keep it in. Carberry comes on, Lama's back on at this point, and they're sparking a few bits and pieces. But that being said, Carberry does some silly stuff as well, some awful kicks to nothing, just literally giving Beauden Barrett and Bridge the ball back, saying, there you go, have a decent attack. Dispiriting. Then we get a try. Henshaw must score, doesn't ground it. Then we get a 5-metre scrum and Henshaw does go over, so they get something. 34-7, it's far too late, but hey, they get something. And then straight back come New Zealand. Severe break to Coles, offload to Bridge, cracking try, just showing who's boss in this game. 41-7, and then Ireland get a score at the end, some pick and goes, penalty try. That silly rule about scoring at the base of the post, I think Todd was desperate to cover it and gives away a penalty yellow card. Get rid of that rule, a load of rubbish. Anyway, Ireland get a penalty try, 41-14, that is the game. Oh, sorry, oh no, it's not the game. New Zealand score again, Geordie Barrett, lovely wide passing, Moanga, Beauden Barrett, great hands. Where were the Irish defence? I think they'd given up by then. 46-14 it finishes, just devastation, absolutely huge. Yeah, that was the score. And wow, what a performance from New Zealand. England in the semis away to New Zealand, England, what a great game. New Zealand were my favourites going into the World Cup. They're my favourites throughout the pool stages, they're even more favourites now. England are going to be underdogs, they're going to have to play the game of their lives and hope New Zealand don't play like this. Ireland, very disappointing. This World Cup campaign was poor, it was a failure. They were always going to be up against it in this match. I think they'd anticipated possibly playing South Africa, but they mucked that up by their performance against Japan, or Japan mucked them up. And the disappointing thing was they just didn't give themselves a chance. They've got great players, and in this game, if they'd executed everything, they could have got closer. I don't know how close, but closer, and they didn't even get close. So, big, Smith leaves, Farrell comes in, quite a big rebuild. I'll do a whole video on it later. I've got one for Scotland coming out as well, but let me know, New Zealand fan, Irish fans, what did you think of that game? Anyway guys, what a thrilling Saturday, and until next time, I will see you then.